Welcome to the definitive guide for luxury travel in 2026, where we explore the pinnacle of maritime opulence, the Mediterranean Superyacht Charter. If you are dreaming of the sapphire waters of the Amalfi Coast or the glittering nightlife of St. Tropez, understanding the complex financial landscape of a yacht charter is the first step toward a seamless voyage. In 2026, the market has reached new heights of sophistication and pricing transparency, but the total cost of a wait at sea remains far more than just the base charter rate you see on a brochure. Today, we are breaking down every dollar and euro you can expect to spend, from the initial deposit to the final crew gratuity, ensuring you can plan your 2026 summer with precision and confidence. When we discuss the cost of a superyacht in 2026, we must begin with the base rate, which is the foundational price for the vessel and its professional crew. For an entry-level superyacht in the 30 to 40-meter range, you can expect base rates to start around $60,000 per week for older, well-maintained vessels. If you are looking for brand new, high-performance yacht in this same size category built after 2022, the price quickly climbs to between $100,000 and $150,000 per week. As we move into the mid-range category of 45 to 60 meters, which is the sweet spot for many high net worth families, the 2026 market is commanding between $200,000 and $400,000 per week. These yachts offer multiple decks, expansive beach clubs, and a crew-to-guest ratio that ensures every whim is anticipated before it is even spoken. For the true titans of the sea, the mega yachts exceeding 75 meters in length, the pricing in 2026 enters a different atmosphere. You are looking at a starting point of $700,000 per week, with iconic vessels like the legendary Lursen or ship builds often exceeding $2 million for a 7-day itinerary. In some extreme cases, most famous superyachts in the world, which feature helipads, indoor swimming pools, and full-scale wellness centers, can reach $4 million per week before a single gallon of fuel is even purchased. While these numbers are staggering, they represent the absolute peak of private luxury, offering a level of security and exclusivity that no five-star hotel on land can ever replicate. However, the base rate is only the beginning of your financial journey in 2026. The most significant additional expense is the Advanced Provisioning Allowance, or APA, which is essentially a floating bank account used by the captain to cover your operational costs. In 2026, the standard APA for a Mediterranean charter is 30 to 40% of the base rate. This fund covers your fuel, food, beverages, and berthing fees in various marinas. For a yacht with a $300,000 base rate, you will be asked to wire an additional $100,000 into the PA before you even step on board. The beauty of this system is its transparency, because every cent spent is documented, and any funds remaining at the end of your trip are returned to you in cash or via bank transfer. Conversely, if you decide to cruise at high speeds for long distances or order several cases of rare vintage champagne, you may be asked to top up the PA during your voyage. Fuel remains the most volatile component of the PA in 2026. While modern hybrid propulsion systems are becoming more common, most superyachts still rely on high-capacity diesel engines that can consume hundreds of gallons of fuel per hour when cruising. If your 2026 itinerary involves heavy island hopping across the Cyclades or a fast transit from Ibiza to Mallorca, your fuel bill alone could easily consume half of Europe. Berthing fees in the Mediterranean are another major factor to consider, especially during the peak months of July and August. Securing a prime spot in a marina like Capri or Porto Cervo can cost several $1,000s per night, and in 2026 these locations are more in demand than ever before. Next, we must discuss the inevitable reality of value-added tax or VAT, which varies significantly depending on where your charter begins and ends. In 2026, the Mediterranean is a patchwork of tax jurisdictions. France and Italy typically charge between 20 and 22% VAT on the charter fee, though some reductions may apply if you spend a significant portion of your time in international waters. Greece has implemented more streamlined tax rules for 2026, but you should still budget approximately 12 to 13% for VAT. Spain remains one of the more expensive jurisdictions with a flat 21% VAT rate. It is crucial to work with a reputable broker who can structure your itinerary to maximize your time in lower tax zones, potentially saving you tens of thousands of dollars on a single week's charter. Once the voyage is complete and you are preparing to disembark, there is one final and deeply important cost to consider: the crew gratuity. In 2026, the Mediterranean standard for tipping remains between 10 and 15% of the base charter rate. While this is technically discretionary, it is a universal expectation for the hardworking individuals who have been at your service 24 hours a day. On a Superyacht, the crew does far more than just sail the boat. They are your private chefs, your dive instructors, your housekeeping staff, and your personal concierges. For a yacht with the $200,000 base rate, a $20,000 to $30,000 tip is considered standard for excellent service. This amount is usually handed to the captain in an envelope at the end of the charter, and he or she will distribute it equally among the entire team, including the engineers and deckhands, who you may rarely see, but who keep the vessel running perfectly. To give you a concrete example of a 2026 budget, let us look at a 50-meter motor yacht with a base rate of $250,000 per week. After adding 35% up of $87,000, a 20% VAT of $50,000, and a 15% gratuity of $37,000, your total investment for the week comes to approximately $424,000. This illustrates why it is so important to look beyond the advertised price and understand the true all-in cost of the experience. Seasonality continues to play a massive role in 2026 pricing. If you have the flexibility to travel in the shoulder seasons of June or September, you can often find base rates that are 15 to 20% lower than the peak August prices. Furthermore, the marinas are less crowded, and the service at the shoreside restaurants is often more relaxed. However, if your goal is to be in the heart of the